Hello and welcome to the ultimate build for 5.10. So 5.10 just come out and all the skills have been updated. So there's been a lot of changes on builds and which is now the best build. I was fortunate enough to do a lot of beta testing weeks in advance to test all these builds out in advance, and there's been a lot of lovely people sharing examples and builds in the testing server. Now it's officially live. I have done some testing in the last day or so to give you my opinion of the best builds to use right now. And surprisingly, will be a couple shockers in today's video, but stay tuned. And if this does help you in any way, or if you use any of the builds, please consider subscribing to this channel. It does help me out loads, and I love you for it, and it keeps me wanting to do more. So, you know, if you use this build, sub, all right? So, I'm going to do two versions. I'm going to go through power build. Most of them will be power push builds, but we'll give you examples on how to change it to a speed to make it a bit more speedier. Normally, it's just upgrading cloaking, love potion, and changes a couple things. For example, your splash and stuff like that. But overall, they're going to be push builds, and I will go through the tips as I go through. I will also show the full build. So I'll show the full build of each build, the equipment to use. And also at the end of the video, I'll show you where to go for tools on artifact optimizations, stuff like clan help, clan management, because you also need to be in a decent clan, and just general tips. So make sure you stay watching to the end of the video. Now, surprisingly, I'm going to work from worst to best, save the best for last. So at the moment, in power-wise, Heavy Strike I found is to be not actually a decent pushing build. It's really fast. Out of all the builds I've tested, Heavy Strike is one of the fastest. So it was around about, I think I got Heavy Strike down to 8-9 minutes, while the others run about 10-12 minutes. So Heavy Strike can be fast, but it lost its power. I don't know why, but it hasn't got any push. As a matter of fact, Dagger Build is now OP. So Dagger Build pushed me 2,500-3,000 stages in one day, while Heavy Strike, I couldn't reach my current max stage. Once I pushed using Dagger, Heavy Strike didn't get anywhere near it. So Heavy Strike is now bottom. So Dagger's top in power. Clanship Pet Build is second. They're very, very close. They're a bit more speedier, but not as strong. And Gold Gun Shadow Clone is, well, it's just passive speedy farm builds, really. Not so much of Gold Gun because it's still active tapping, but they're just kind of like, to me, I find Gold Gun is like a Shadow Clone, but more active. Again, doesn't have that much pushing power, but it's still quite good speedy. And like I said, Heavy Strike is bottom. Now, if you want to go for speed, and for example, you're farming for the event, the Halloween event, then Heavy Strike is best. Clanship Pet Build comes close, but Shadow Clone Gold Gun are actually really close. They're only about 1 minute, 2 minute difference. So if you're going for speed, I would say you could use Shadow Clone to be passive, so you don't have to spend much effort. But if you want to go top and go as fast as you can, then Heavy Strike. Now I will go through the actual builds themselves. I'm going to start with a new Heavy Strike build. So I'll show examples using the new skills and what equipment. Please note, when I go for all these builds in today's video, they will be using the Fairy Income. I just use Fairy Income because it's want to be one of the, I say, best main sources, but it's good for stuff like Heavy Strike because it'd be very proc in Fairy Gold, so it's normally quite high. So I will be using Fairy Gold Income for this video, but you can use Pet Heart Midas as an alternative if you can't. Quick couple tips. Most of them builds are depending on the amount of skill points, passive and mana you have. So I would recommend to use, as I said, Dagger being the most powerful, but if you've got 1,000 skill points and you've got enough to actually make it, to use enough skill points to make it decent. If you haven't, for new people, for example, people who've just started, new beginners or low SP, then I would look at Clanship as the first before we start collecting some skill points, then maybe try Dagger Build. Again, with Shadow Clone and Heavy Strike, they rely on a decent amount of passives and also mana. So if your mana is low, you might have issues. So when I'm showing these builds in the video, they're based around 4,000 skill points because that's the level I'm at. If you're below that, run about 2,000, 3,000, that's fine. But if you're below 1,000, I would recommend using clanship or maybe alternative builds as mentioned in my notes above. So first up is the Heavenly Strike Push Fairy build. This is based on 4,106 skill points, which is what I've got on my main account. So we're starting off, so this, well, basically just copy it on the screen really. You can change it to how you preferred. For example, if you want to make it a bit more faster, then you can add a lot more skill points to Cloaking and Love Potion, and that help with that. Also, I would recommend if you're having issues with runtime, join a high level clan. If you got a high level clan, your clan XP and also your clan morale, which you can level up, staying in that clan will help with your advanced stage start. That basically means when you prestige, you start at a higher level, and that reduces your runtime. That's a great way. So if you currently have runtimes of 40 minutes or an hour, you're basically in a really small clan. So try to get to a medium or high level clan. That will sort that issue out. Plus, Noble Fencer legendary set will help with that as well. So these are the skills. These are my skills. And then regarding that, you want to be having. So for your spells, you want these selected. So Heavenly Strike, Twilight Fairies, Hand of Midas, and Fire Sword, War Cry, and your Shadow Clone. No Deadly Strike in this build. So for equipment, it's tap damage for sword. Then it's gunblade damage for your helmet. And chest is chest and gold or all gold. For your aura is sword boost, and then for your slash is your main damage source, which is heavy strike damage. So that's your equipment. Now, in comparison, I have for equipment sets, I pretty much have all the equipment sets. So all mythics, all legendaries, apart from the Electric Inventor. I haven't got that yet. That's the only one, and I've got all the rare ones, and I'm collecting the latest event. But apart from the legendary and the event sets, I've pretty much got all the sets. So in comparison, if you want to know how your equipment set lights up, so let's see how well this pushes. Now my current max stage is 124,450, so 124,500 nearly. So I'm going to see how far this Heavy Strike builds get close to that, and then we'll move on to the next build. Right, so I'm getting towards near the end of my run. As you can see, I could push it out a bit more by collecting a bit more fairies. But as you can see, I've started to slow down on the recent bosses, and I've reached 123,000. Which is about 1,000 below my current max stage, and that's mainly because the best build I've found so far is the Dagger Build, which is pushed quite a lot. But at least it gives you an indication of how a Heavy Strike build looks like. So that's the build. I said you can do things like adding Light Strike, Cloaking, and Love Potion if you want to make it faster, and also adding Light Strike will probably help more with splashing through the bosses. Anchoring Shot as well, that'll help with the little push at the end. So you can tweak it a little bit, but at least this gives you a general idea of what to expect. Now I'm going to go through the Shadow Clone build next. So I'm just going to build that up and go through the build of the new Shadow Clone with the new skills, the equipment, and the spells to set up. And then I'll show you the push on that one as well. So this is the new, I say new Shadow Clone. This is the Shadow Clone build example from 5.10 update. So take a screenshot, you can use it. This is an example, it can be tweaked. So this is mainly the layout I've got now. Obviously you can add more into Cloaking and Love Potion if you want to make it faster, and again reduce Light Strike if you want to go for speed. So this is what a Shadow Clone would look like after the new update. So you've got some skills in Puppeteer and the new fairies. Now for equipment, crit damage on your sword, on your helmet, you've got gunblade damage. On your chest, I've got Chesterton Gold or all gold, whichever is highest or better really. Sword primary boost or slash boost, and then your main damage source, which is Shadow Clone. As mentioned before, I've got pretty much all the equipment, all the sets. I would recommend if you're struggling with mana or speed passive, see the Shadow Clone, it does rely on passive skills, so if you do find it's going quite slow or not that well, you might need to resort to your clanship or pet build, and you're not just quite there yet. If you are having long run times, again I would recommend, for example, if you run times like 40 minutes or an hour long, I would recommend joining a clan to increase your advanced stage start. So when you start high level and get noble fencer, and also keep in that clan to get your clan boosts. So I'm gonna be acting all of these and just seeing how well it pushes to my current max stage. As I mentioned on the previously, my current max stage is 124,450, so around about 124,500. So I can see how well this pushes up to that level. So I'm mainly showing all the builds as for power, for help pushing, and how well they compare to getting towards my max stage. Now my max stage was peaked at Dagger Build, because that's one of the power builds at the moment. So I'm just going to see all the other builds, how close they can get to it. So we started to slow down on the Shadow Clone build. So I've got to 123,700. I probably could push a bit more. There we go, with a bit more gold and level up my heroes. But I'm getting round about to the 124,000. And we're bearing my max stage is right about that. So it's not too far off. It is a bit better than the Heavenly Strike one. So again, the Shadow Clone is good for a bit of speed, and it's all right for pushing. There is some tweaks you can do, and as I mentioned before, I'll show the skill tree again. You can make it speedier if you wish by putting some skills into cloaking, also love potion, and then you can also increase your lightning strike if you want to push it and make it a bit more better for pushing. So this is the Shadow Clone. The next build I'm going to do is Dagger Build. So I'm going to go through the skill example for the new Dagger Build. I would recommend to watch it, because it is one of the OP builds at the moment. Is really good for pushing the extra few stages and to grind for the end. You would need around about 1,000 to 2,000 skill points, and there might be some equipments and some passives you might need, as well as mana. But I'll go through all the equipment to equip the spells and the actual build suggestion, and again it could be optimized. So that will be Dagger Build we'll go through next. Alright, so this is the Dagger Build. I'll give you a variation. Again, this is just an example build, but at least it points you in the right direction. Dagger Build is OP at the moment, so have a pause the screen, follow it as you wish. So this is what we've got until the official optimizers and build makers are finished being updated. Now you can make it faster by doing things like adding cloaking and love potion to it. Obviously, as I mentioned previously in the other builds, if your advanced stage start is quite high, for example, you're doing 40 minutes an hour runs, then you can join a high level clan to get your advanced stage start increased or better, so you can start a higher stage. Also, you can do add in more lightning strike, which I should have done really, because that helped push a bit more as well. For the that's pretty much it. You basically don't need heavy strike, so everything, all the other spells are absolutely fine. So for equipment, it will be tap damage, and then it'd be helmet. It would be your strongest hero at the time, and cheston or all gold, and then sword slash for your aura, and then for the for slash, and then for your aura is your main damage source, which is dagger damage. Now to use the daggers when they appear, you can use power swiping and swipe them one by one, and 2 attacks. Once they got highlighted, you can do multiples, and you need to get all 7 to activate Dagger Storm, which basically gives you a higher crit. So you can see at the top there that it was massive crit rate. So that is what you need to do to make it fast and splash for at the end. If you don't have the power swiping, which is a perk, this one here, you can just flick it. Flick the dagger into the right direction. So that's how you do it. I'll wait until it gets near my max stage to show you how well it pushes. As I said, at the moment, my current max stage is 124,450, and this build is the build that pushes me through, and all the other builds I've tested so far haven't come close to my max stage. So essentially, Dagger Build at the moment is the power build to use. This is also, bear in mind, the amount of skill points, your passives, and your mana. It does take a lot of mana for it to be this OP. So you can see my mana regen's like, well, my mana pool's like 3,690. Mana regen's quite high, so I'm okay. So you might have to do more mana in your build. So at the moment I've just got a mana regen of 11, but you might have to increase your limit capacity or other means. So bear that in mind. Again, you can make it more speedy by putting in love potion, cloaking in there, and also some push if you want some lightning strike. That is just as a suggestion. I'll then push to my max stage and see if I can push it through in this example build. So I've got near close to my max stage again, and as you can tell, just from this dagger build, it is by far easily reaching my max stage, while the previous heavy strike and shadow clone build did not meet this requirement. So I would say definitely that dagger build, for people who have enough skill points and passives, it is working out quite well. So at the moment I've got 124276. My current MS is 124450. So as you can see, when it gets close to it, it is good for that splash through, just mainly from the daggers and from the dagger storm. It gives them the same amount of splash at one time. So it's definitely worth giving a go. While the Spectre is free to reset during the update, I would recommend to try all the builds, but definitely the dagger build is the go-to one for the moment. So yeah, that was one recommendation, and I want one last look again at the skill build for it, if you're interested. So that is it. And before I said, if you want to make it a bit faster, you can put a couple more skill points to cloaking and love potion. And if you want a bit extra push, you can put some into like lightning strike. Maybe put more into anchoring shot as well to help with the push, if you want to get those extra stages. Now, next we're going to try the clan ship build. So this is the clan ship build example. Again, feel free to pause this video and take a look at the build. This is just an example. By all means, you can tweak it. Doesn't use the new skills, the puppeteer and the fairy one, the new fairy one. So you can use the optimizers that we used before in the previous video and the ultimate build video. Those optimizers are still kind of beneficial, but when they do get updated, we'll let you guys know. Again, if you want to go for speed, you can increase cloaking and love potion to make it faster. Again, to increase to get a better advanced stage start by joining a higher clan, that will help reduce your run time as well. On this one, spells are all of them apart from heavy strike. For equipment, you'd be looking at, for your sword, it'd be all hero damage. For your helmet, it'd be your strongest hero at the time, so this one would be made for me. For chest, it'd be Chesterton or all gold, whichever's the highest at the time. For aura, it's your helmet primary boost if it's the highest, or sword, but preferably be helmet. And last one, which is your slash, is your main damage source, which is clan ship. So I'm getting to the end of the clan ship run, and I said I've reached 124,257. Now my current max stage is just underneath that, so just a couple hundred stages below. So considering the dagger build is the OP build at the moment that's pushing, clan ship I feel is quite close behind, closely second. So I found that as power builds and the new 5.10 update is number 1 dagger build, number 2 is clan ship build, followed by pet build, and then shadow clone. Shadow clone pet build are quite similar, quite close together. If the dagger build does require a lot of skill points, a lot of passives and mana, so if it doesn't work for you, I would recommend clan ship build as a closely second, especially for new players. So players who are just beginning, have low skill points, then clan ship build would be more recommended build of choice. And one last look at the build recommendations. This is why I recommend. Now this doesn't use the new skills for the Twilight Fairy and Nightmare Puppeteer, so you can still use the build maker that's on the Compidin website. And if you're not too sure how to use Parrots or MMLH's build, then you can look at my ultimate build guide video, which I'll link below, or you can just search on my YouTube channel, and that will tell you how to use those build makers, build Google Docs essentially to make the best clanship build specifically for you and your requirements. But this is just, if you run about the 4,000 skill points, this at least gives you a generalization of where it's at the moment. So we've covered Heavy Strike, we've covered Shadow Clone, we've covered Dagger, we've covered Clanship. So the next 2 builds left is Pet Build and Gold Gun Build. I'll do Pet Build next because I don't like Gold Gun, to be honest. So I'll do Pet Build next to follow. So this is the Pet Build, around about 4,000 skill points. Also, this would recommend, you can use it at lower levels, but I would recommend higher pet levels and some amount of skill points. So this is just a recommendation. Again, this doesn't use the new fairy or puppeteer skills, so you can use the existing skill builds on the competent website, or use the ultimate build guide video I've done previously to explain how to update them and how to use them. This is just a general overview since the update, so have a look and you can follow it or do some changes. If you're looking for speed, you can add more points into cloaking or love potion. Again, you can add extra push if you want to put in anchoring shot or lightning strike. And on this one, the spells are all the spells apart from heavy strike. You don't need heavy strike, so I've got dual summon in there, and the rest of them, as you can see. For equipment, you've got sword to be tap or critical damage, whichever's highest, and your strongest hero for your helmet. For your chest, it's your chesting or all gold, whichever's highest really. For the aura, you've got sword or slash, whichever is the highest. And for your slash equipment is the your main power source, which is pet damage. My current max stage is 124,583, so say 124,500. So I'm going to run the pet build to see how close it will get to my current max stage. Previously we've got Dagger Build on top as the best reaching for push to reach past your max stage, followed by Clanship. That was quite close, there's only about 200 stages behind. Then it was Shadow Clone and Heavy Strike being the worst. We're now doing Pet Build to see how close Pet Build will get to the max stage, and yeah, we'll see from there. So running the Pet Build, I've got close to my max stage. So my previous max stage is 124,583. I'm currently at 124,400, and so it's only just about 100 off. So at the moment, if we're still seeing Dagger Build being the highest push build, followed by Clanship and Pet Build really close, with only about 100 to 200 stages behind Dagger Build in terms of pushing potential and power. So they're very close. Then after that, we've got Shadow Clone and then Heavy Strike at the bottom. So in regards to optimal builds to use, if you want to push and gain those stages, the top one would be Dagger, and then it'd be Clanship and Pet Build. Again, it depends on how many skill points you have, the mana and passive skills, so you might not be able to run Pet Build just yet, so Clanship might be a close second. So that is my overview and suggestions for Pet Build. Again, I'll give one last view of the Pet Build, around about 4,000 skill point stage if you want to use it. So there it is. So now I'm going to prestige and move on to the last build, which is the Gold Gun build, my favorite. Yay! So I'm going to do that now. So we're now doing the Gold Gun build, which is also known as Alchemist build. So this is the setup I've got so far. So again, this one doesn't use the new skill, the Fairy and Nightmare Puppeteer one. So you can use the existing MMLH or Parrots optimizers, which is on the competent website, or you can use my ultimate build guide video previously that shows you how to update and use those Google Docs. So you can use the existing sheets, but if you don't want to, you can look at this as a recommendation. This is not fully optimized, it's more for push. So this is going to see how close I can get to my existing max stage. My existing max stage is 124,583, so we can see how close we can get to it as a normal push build. Now this uses all the spells. It says spell selections, but there is no additional spell to select, so it's just all these that is recommended. For equipment, you've got your sword as critical damage, and also for your helmet, it's the strongest hero you have at the time. For chest, it's chest in gold or all gold, whichever is the highest at the time. You've got sword or slash you could use, again, whichever is the highest and more powerful list. And then the main damage source of your build. So on this one, it's gold gun damage. So once you've got all that, we're just going to run through to see how close I can get it to my max stage and the overall power that we're expecting from this build. So I've reached close to my max stage. So currently my max stage is 124,583, and I've reached 124,000. So about 500 stages below. So that's covered all the builds in this video. So I hope you enjoyed the video to give you build suggestions, all the build covers, especially for the Heavy Strike, Shadow Clone and Dagger builds, because these have slightly updated. So I would hopefully the builds that I've shown you gives you some indication of what kind of skills you should be aiming for, where to put them. As soon as the build optimizers have been updated on the Competium website, I will do a separate video telling you how to upgrade them, what to look for, and basically much more in depth. This is literally a quick overview to cover all the builds post the 5.10 update that happened yesterday. So hopefully this video has helped in some way, and if it has, you know what to do. Hit that red subscribe button. It does help my channel out loads, and also your name will be featured in the video. So you probably noticed loads of names appear at the bottom of the screen. These are lovely people that help support this channel over the past week, so thank you so much, and get your name featured there. Apart from that, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care. Bye.